Morning podcasters, Greg Smith, Admin's The Answer, and I am extremely excited to introduce you to Melissa, owner and director of Divine Creative Marketing. Welcome.
Divine Creative Agency.
Our agency.
But we do marketing.
Start again, Divine Creative Agency.
That's all cool.
Who, thankfully for my business, has helped me with some of my marketing, but we'll get into that later. But Melissa, I wanted to take some time out for the audience today to have a chat about marketing and about you, your business. So let's just start from wherever it started, way back. I'm a tradie and I'd never get into marketing, but so what got you into marketing?
I fell into it,
Okay.
like most things. Yeah, I was travelling around Australia and then didn't know what I wanted to do. Didn't even know. I looked up, what I wanted to do at university, and there was a thing called Bachelor of Design. I thought, well, I was good at art, so I'll do that.
So is that just drawing things?
Yeah, that's what I thought, apparently. But yeah, so it's something that actually grew and evolved. So I started as a graphic designer. Then as technology, and this is kind of like the trades business too, as technology and life changes, there was no websites or internet or even email when I started, so I was just a simple graphic designer just sitting there. Computers had only just come in. So, I really evolved and grew with the stages of the industry in marketing. Well, actually, it was more advertising than marketing back then. Like so people doing yellow pages ads, doing ads in
the local paper.
Exactly, and brochures. Even brochures were incredibly expensive. It was only high level kind of your bigger companies advertised.
Yep.
All the small guys would basically just have an ad in the yellow pages. That's about all you could do.
A sticker on the side of their truck.
Sticker on the side of your truck. And, business cards, and maybe like a pamphlet that you put out in your local letterbox drop. That was it. Yeah, so then we went into websites. So then I got geared up on how to do websites, and we thought that was the next best thing. That was amazing. And then social media came in, and then I was kind of like, well, I really took myself down a marketing avenue because there was just so many opportunities for my clients, and I was just really responding to the market and responding, because I've been doing this 25 years, so you've got to keep responding. You can't be exactly the same as you were. It's no different to a trades business. You've got to keep growing and evolving.
Agreed. So from day one to now, the evolution has been fast, hasn't it? Because you've been in that tech world.
Yeah.
I remember when the internet first came on board, and I said, I'm not getting involved in that. You won't even find me having an email address. I thought it was for IT guys, and thought, I'm just not interested. Yeah, thank goodness I changed.
But what's funny is I'm not even, most good marketers and stuff, we're not that we're that IT savvy. Because all marketing is what it, and it's different to what it used to be. So 15 years ago when I got a brief for something, it was always behind the big company logo and the company image. You put out the message, and it was all very kind of, it was like, it was interruption marketing. So it was all advertising, TV advertising stuff. So you're always interrupting people with the message and shouting it at them. Now, marketing, the advertising message is completely different. It's something that I've originated, which is connection marketing, which is people to people. Yeah. People with social media, we've become massive voyeurs. We're totally interested. Yeah. And this goes for a trade-based business too.
Yep.
And I always remember I'm going to jump around all the time, but when I had much younger children, I wanted to know who the tradesman was before they came into my house. So I would look up their website, and if I didn't see a picture of the tradesperson on the home page, I wouldn't call them.
You wouldn't call them?
Yeah, and this is like 12, 15 years ago. Yeah. And it's still the same now. And so people have got to really catch up. So people think it's all about technology, but it's actually just about using that as a tool, no different to your business, and being person to person with that connection. So people, because they just want to know, like, and trust you before they even let you into their premises.
I say the same thing to our clients at the moment, even from reviews.
Yeah.
So the new world is changing, that people, they may not necessarily be looking for a photo, and I can appreciate that, but they're looking for reviews. And I know consumers, which I and you are one, and the audience, that we're all consumers. If they pick up a Google review about said person, said tradie, they're probably not even making a phone call. Whereas 5, 6, 7 years ago, they probably would make the call because they didn't have an opportunity to review them online. And they don't find out until the guy knocks on the door and he's ripped shirt and ripped pants and going, oh, I'd really rather you weren't here, but it's too late.
You can counteract. I know this is a big problem, so I've got a really large builder client, very large builder client. They have a lot of trouble with their quality control. They can do an amazing job and then something goes wrong right at the end and then they'll get a damning review and they can't pull it down. They're pulling their hair out. They don't know what to do. But the way that any company can counteract one ordinary review is when people go to your website or see you in social media or any of your marketing, is that they see the nice clean cut people that you have working for you, the uniforms, the good presentation, the videos, client testimonials, which can be videos as well or photos. So, and because people kind of know in their heart of hearts that people can be merciless with a review. And if you can counteract that with a whole lot of positive stuff that you've created in your marketing, which doesn't even feel like marketing if it's just people to people, if it's done in a really wholesome way.
I can prove that. www.adminstheanswer.com.au.
Exactly.
There's the proof. Small business, Melissa, we're all in small business and there's lots of us. What have you learned about running a small business?
I love this question, and it was so funny. I only answered this to somebody the other day. There's so many different industries out there, but it's a small business. It's just about people serving and helping other people and taking their pain away. So you have a problem. When you came to me, you had you didn't so much have a problem, but you get to it.
I didn't understand.
You don't know that you have the problem, but you knew that you wanted to grow your business. So you're like, who am I going to call? You'd known of me. You'd seen my newsletters for the past 12 years, So you'd been actually in my, it's got a nurturing cycle. So,
the voyeur had been happening.
So, but you weren't big on social media. So if I hadn't have been sending out email marketing to you, you would never have seen me. And so then you see that interaction and then you read the blogs, see some photos, and it's just so in the back of your mind. But then when that issue comes to the front of your mind, which is it's a problem, I want to grow, and I don't know how to, all of a sudden that becomes like a pain. It can be, a little pain or a huge pain if you're in distress with it. And that's small business the world over. So, if you're a plumber, somebody has a pain, is that their pipes their toilet doesn't flush or something. I don't know. But it can get much deeper than that. And it's your job as a business owner to understand who it is that you're servicing, which we call the target audience, who we're servicing, what keeps them awake at night, what are their problems. And you don't want to just be responding to that real basic stuff. It's like the bigger, deeper,
dig deep
stuff.
I remember we dug deeper than I thought. Is she a marketing agency or a psychologist? I haven't communicated this part of my life that's related to business to anyone else. So kudos to you. You undug some, and it was all good at the end of the day, but it needs to be spoken about.
And this can work for tradies, like what I just said to you. So my pain was, I'll give you a good example. I needed a door frame put into my house to keep, because we had a baby and it was really noisy and we just wanted to try and keep it quieter. I went with the dearest quote who came in. And why did I go with the dearest quote? Because my actual pain was that I was really creeped out by having unprofessional tradesmen in my house with 3 young children. That was my pain. And I went with the dearest quote because that person eased my pain. Now, he never figured that out. He didn't ask that. That was just me knowing that. But if he'd actually understood what the problem was, he could have even whacked more on the quote and I would have paid it.
And then for the next customer and the next customer and the next customer. So he's quoting, he maybe not have appreciated that he was quoting for a relationship. Quoting for building that, not just quoting to hang a new door.
It had nothing to do with the door.
I think nothing to do with the door.
It was all about putting me at peace in my own home with my kids and feeling safe and secure. Because I've had tradies turn up. I had one guy turn up and they were drinking at the end of the job on my premises and left their cans all lying around there. And I felt intimidated. It was a whole big team of them. They were concreters. And I felt intimidated to go downstairs. And I'm not an easily intimidated woman. But because I had young children, I felt really intimidated. And I will tell that story. I know the company. I won't say that.
No.
I remember that company's name. Here's another point. I remember
for the wrong reasons.
I remember that company's name, and whenever I see anyone talks about it, I say, don't use them. I don't even remember the name of the guy who was good.
No. Isn't that interesting?
Because when you have a bad experience, you remember that name and you share it.
I bet you the good guy turned up on time.
Yeah, he did everything right. He was fantastic.
What have you learned about yourself, Melissa? this podcast doesn't go for 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because I could talk 5 hours about what I've learned about myself through this whole, starting up a business. But some of the keys you've learned about yourself since, starting small business.
It's not about me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's about the customer.
Yeah, cool.
And it's about helping them. It's just about uncovering, again, what their issues are and seeing if you can help them and serve them and solve that problem. And I don't care what industry you're in.
Right.
That is what business is about, and that's what it is. And that's, I think you're not going to enjoy business as much if you're not motivated by helping people and if you're not passionate about what you do. So I am passionate about small business. I'm the nerd that sits at the dinner table at a party or something and just bangs on about business, but not from a snooty point of view, about how people help and connect and be passionate about stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what you're doing, podcasters, at the end of the day, if you don't understand that you're in a relationship building business, sparky, plumber, landscaper, window washer, I don't care what you're doing. But if you are not building a relationship, you're not building your business.
No, 100%. That's right. And so my motivation has always been about, so I really learnt about that how much I like to inspire, connect with people and help them.
Yeah, cool. When I first started down this road of I need some help, I want to grow my business, I think I've got something here that can be quite exciting, and I'm not one to start at small fry and just stop.
Yeah.
I thought marketing and sales was the same thing.
Yeah.
Can you sort of pull them apart? I know they're interrelated now.
Yeah, it's sales
but
and
they are not the same.
Yeah.
For the audience, can you pick apart a little bit and just give us a brief, some of the key differences about those two?
Oh, look, they're interrelated, so you don't want to confuse it. But sales is really like getting the sale over the line, isn't it? You know, but selling shouldn't be a big deal. Selling is just having a conversation with somebody. Anyway, and I'm a pretty good salesperson. You're a pretty good salesperson. So, you're not doing the hard sell. It's really selling is identifying the pain points of your audience and communicating that to them and to get an end result and asking for the sale. So, that's sort of selling. But marketing is really all the infrastructure behind that you will do to bring somebody into the foreground, bring you into their world, basically, when they require you. So, I was in your world for 12 years before you actually, commissioned me to do some work.
It was a slow burn, wasn't it?
Real slow burn. And that's really important. And had I not been doing the marketing, which was so I do a lot of marketing. I do podcasting, I create video, I do lots of social media stuff, I speak at events, I've co-written a book. Don't do so much advertising or anything anymore in publications, but I used to. My website's out there, and email marketing is how you came into contact with me. If I hadn't been, I think I just counted off 8 things there. Yeah, if I hadn't been doing those things for a period of all that time, I wouldn't have had an opportunity to do any sales with you. Because then you made the phone call.
We wouldn't be sitting here.
Yeah, we had a chat. At no point did you feel like I was selling you.
No.
And you actually asked me for a logo and a quote for a website. And I added to that quote my marketing services.
Yes.
Which then sent you down. So that's kind of selling and kind of marketing at the same time, which sent you down the thought process. And because I had all of the information and content there on the website and social media, anywhere you looked, there's just so much evidence. And it's no different for a trades business. It's just providing evidence that you can do a bang-up job.
Yeah, I think in the end, when I was trolling through your website and having a look, every time I click on a new page, you were taking an element of pain away from me that I sort of didn't know existed, but I knew there was something in there that was, clawing me away. And this is an opportunity that I've been looking for because I want the business to grow.
Yeah.
And I've got something here that can really explode if I wanted it to, but I know I can't do it on my own. And so that pain of not knowing, I guess, was my biggest pain.
Yeah.
And now, your website was certainly providing some, I guess, pain relief in a way, and it wasn't a sales pitch at all.
It's just
it was
information.
and it's not putting a Band-Aid on a sore. It's like, I'm going to fix that pain, and this is how we go about doing it. And it was
so it's information and then proof. So from a trade point of view, you'd be providing information on how you can help people, the services that you have, but then the proof there is in the case studies and the testimonials and showing the befores and the afters, but not just showing it in pictorial, really explain. Doing video is fantastic, really explaining to people the process that you took them on. Building anything in the building industry can be a very, very painful thing for people to do. And a lot of that is because they don't know what they don't know. So if you can lead, having helpful tips on your website or your social media about how it's easy to engage with you and what the process is like and what they need to do at council.
Yeah.
You know, the stages of development, whatever it is that you might be building or doing for them, things that they can expect, not expect, things to ask for.
Yeah.
What the industry's like. There's so many things you can do to make people's lives easier, and that just builds trust.
Yep.
So then when they do need your services, they already have a relationship with you because they trust you.
Yep.
And then if you've done a lot of video and stuff and you're a likable enough person, or you might have some good guys in your team, then they like you.
Yeah.
And because you've been doing it regularly, then they know you.
Yeah. And just keep spreading.
They won't be bothering with the three quotes.
I have a live example of that. We put out a video post a couple of weeks ago that, have you got some troublesome customers that you just have been chasing and chasing and chasing that haven't paid? And I put myself out there that I've got a pretty good track record for chasing those customers on our clients' behalf.
Yeah.
So, and that was the whole theme of the video.
Yeah, just one short video.
Yeah, a client rang me the next day. Saw your video. I've got one of those. All right. So we had a bit of a chat. The bottom line is that they owed him $1,800.
A lot of money.
2.5 months he'd been trying. I rang her. I won't give you the whole brief of the story, but the money was in his account within 48 hours. Sweet. All right. So,
That's
a little
really
video
good.
post out there letting them know that, we're not just an admin company. We're helping save their lives and save them from themselves. And $1,800 is a lot of money. I certainly didn't charge him $1,800 for the phone call, that's for sure.
And you could have put out, so the way to look at that is that's just a simple video, which is just a helpful information piece.
Yep.
You could have put that out completely differently, like as an ad, like, we collect money for you.
Yes.
You.
Yeah.
Whatever, really corny.
Yeah, the Uncle Sam,
and
you.
people are just going, oh, that's like a debt collector. There's no relationship. They're not understanding what you do.
Yeah.
There's no emotional attachment to it. But when you put out the video and you explain the process and you're likable and they know you already, it's just a no-brainer.
So much different, isn't it? So much different.
So different.
What effect, can you give us an example, Melissa, and you can use us if you like, or another business, of effects that your marketing plan, because we've now got this beautiful 35-page marketing plan that's got us laid out for the next 12 months. And, if I was putting a marketing plan together, it'd be 6 dot points.
Sell more.
Yeah, sell more, Go out there and stand in front of the highway going, stop, have I got an offer for you? Some of the effects that, to your client's business, that a rock-solid marketing plan has made, and the difference between, I guess, now and then if they hadn't have done that.
I've got a really good example. The most radical one, and he's in the hospitality industry, so, all industries are the same. You're just serving people.
Yep.
Really great. I've told you about Steve before. He's got a company called Catering HQ. Good company. They had one restaurant, like in a club. It was, and they used to go on all sorts of different awards, and they would win it. Like, they're really good. It's the family restaurant category. They used to win awards. They were really high profile, but nothing was really happening. He used to go for tenders for other clubs. He might win them or not win them, but generally not win them. He would lose out to larger companies.
Yep.
So then we went in there. We did the big overhaul website, the new photos. He was freaking out about doing a company video, but I really held his hand through the process and coached him through it, and he did it. And he was nervous in it. It wasn't the best video known to
I can relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. But he did it. The whole point is he did it. But what really happened for him was that the strategy was, okay, you really need to talk about, and we talked about show behind the scenes, show your team, talk about what you're doing, show the food, but show yourself. That was because connection marketing is what I do.
Be a person.
Yeah, be the face of your company and market through your personal brand. And this is just a normal guy. This isn't anybody polished. And he just took to it like a duck to water.
Beautiful.
He's doing Facebook Lives from all over the country.
Look out.
I know him and his wife have gone to the Hunter Valley. He's in cheese factories doing Facebook Lives. But this is the nice part of the story. So he's doing all the stuff behind the scenes, what's going on. The evidence is there. People are developing the relationship because all the marketing stuff is in the background. But what he's doing at the front is he's the talking piece and he's communicating, and the right person at the right time saw the right video.
Yep.
And they just said, man, you're everywhere. The other thing he did is he called himself the hospitality entrepreneur.
Cool.
Exactly.
I like
he
it.
created an industry that kind of doesn't exist, because his whole catch cry was that he puts his money where his mouth is, not like all your high profile chefs that actually have their fancy pants restaurants, but they actually don't fund them themselves.
Right.
He funds his own business and his operation himself. So he was picked up by the head of a really large club industry saw him. It was the tender that he'd missed out on 6 months earlier that he was second in running for because they'd given it to a large organisation. They decided that they'd made a mistake. They called him back from holidays when he was in Hawaii over the Christmas break, and 1 month later he went into their club, set up. So I think he had like 5 new restaurants pretty much overnight in this extra club, but they are a group of 4 clubs. So then he's been picking up extra work since then. In the past 2.5 years, he's grown to something like 25 different restaurants in about 6 or 7 different clubs, something like 30 event spaces within those clubs, and the businesses. He's now got a supply chain of the food supply going into those clubs and looking at other industries. We're talking about online courses because he can't keep up with the demand from other restaurateurs that are now seeing what he does, and he's really this whole hospitality entrepreneur thing just really took off.
Wow.
2.5 years.
Unreal.
Yeah.
And that's not long.
That's so
2.5
short.
years goes really quick,
It's quite
doesn't
overworked. It's actually lucky for him. He actually had a basis in business, and he'd had a few clubs beforehand because he's had to put in managers, mid-level managers. He's got like 300 staff, and COVID hit too. Don't forget. So he had to shut down everything for that 4 or 5 month period.
Right.
But he used that time actually to keep building on the plan.
Yep.
And going out and getting more restaurants ready to open.
Beautiful story.
So that's my best story.
Beautiful story. Beautiful story. And it leads me into, we're going to talk about some aha moments. And I'm sure you've got 1,000 aha moments of a business owner that perhaps didn't know what marketing was, perhaps thought that was all sales, perhaps it's all a load of crap because, I can sell to anyone. I'm sure, and I know I had a few, but I'm sure you've had a few aha moments from business owners going, oh, now I get it. Okay, I thought it was X and I thought it was Y. But I am going to ask you from clients' perspective about, I should have done this a long time ago, Melissa. So that's beyond the aha moment. Yeah. That is like, now I really get it. And I was certainly in that place. I really get what this is about. And you've opened up my eyes to potential customers and potential affiliates and partnerships that I probably would have rung them in about 4 years' time when this lightning bolt came to me and going, have you thought about going to this association and maybe providing them content for their newsletter? I think, why would I even bother with that? I implicitly understand it now because that's part of the slow burn process and not standing in the highway going, hey, you've got a plumber's truck, you need to come with me.
Because essentially what we wanted to do for you, just that example, is it's just, there's an industry over here or a business over here and you've both got the same audience.
Yes.
So why don't just go to their audience? Yeah. Somebody might be sending out a newsletter, and this could be an electrician, or any kind of trades business. They're sending out a newsletter to 1,000 people. Yeah. If you shared into their newsletter just with 1 or 2 different articles, just general articles, something that's already on your website, and get in front of 1,000 new people who are 1,000 potential new clients.
Yeah. No-brainer.
It's a no-brainer. But so many people don't do it.
But as the little old business owner sitting in the corner going...
Thinking small. Thinking one-to-one, waiting for referrals rather than being proactive and thinking, well, how do I get in front of more faces and help them? Yeah. Yeah, cool. You've made a massive difference to my business. So do you want me to give you the story, the aha story? Yeah, okay. Give me your best aha story. Is it mine? No. Oh, okay. It's even better than mine. All right, go on. Give it a crack. Yours will be this good. Go on. Aha. So it was big. It was a while ago. So my late husband was in the caravan and camping industry, and he was a bit of a, he was somebody with, this is back when we were this is when my aha moment came that personal branding really works. So he got headhunted by a company that had a pretty ordinary reputation so far with their camper trailers. They were building them out of China, and they really, when I met the boss, but he had big vision, this guy. He was a pretty amazing entrepreneurial guy. They were just small players in the industry. They built camper trailers. Right. And so he sat there one night at our dining table and said, I don't believe in branding. And I'm going, oh, really? That's interesting. So why have you got a business name? Yeah. So I explained to him what branding actually was and how good personal branding works. Anyway, so then he started doing what we talked about doing, like creating DVDs with I said, let's make your sales team, including my late husband, the star. And he was a bit of a star in the industry. Make them the star of your business and just create videos and create content. And they were doing lots of trade shows and stuff. So they were in front of customers all the time. Let's market around them, show them on holidays, show them in the product. They did this big tour up to Cape York, and it just went gangbusters. their following just like exploded online, as you can imagine, because it was all at the beginning of, when Facebook was really taking off.
Right.
They went from like 88 fans on Facebook to, they're now in the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands. But where it really worked, this is when he had his aha moment. Like, he's growing and exploding his business anyway, and he's a good businessman. I'm not going to say it was all me. Like, the two together was a great, potent thing. He had his aha moment when BCF contacted him.
Wow.
And they said, we don't have camper trailers and we want your camper trailer company. This is the camper trailer company that used to have the bad reputation. And they'd worked on their research and development and had improved it, and all of this was communicated in their marketing through the sales team. And then, so then they started selling, and that's when their brand exploded nationally.
Wow.
When they were in every single BCF and Ray's Outdoor
Huge
store. And that's when he said, I get it. This is branding. So, this is branding.
I get it now.
And he's like, cool.
yeah, I like it.
And then last time I heard, they don't use me anymore because they're so massive.
Right.
Everything's done in house.
Right.
They've got a team of like 10 marketers or something now. But everything came from the basis of what we learned, what I taught him back in the early days, and they sell like 27,000 units a year. Yeah. Exactly. Some of their units are like $100,000.
Holy smoke.
Yes, they start like at around the 10 grand marker, about the 12 grand marker up to 100,000. They sell 27,000 a year.
Yeah, cool. Awesome. That's a lovely aha. So in some time we'll do another podcast of podcasters, and we'll do the admin's the answer aha moment.
Yeah.
And we can talk about how we're taking over the world.
Yeah. But like, it's combined with good management. It just doesn't happen accidentally, but it's just understanding his story and knowing what sets you apart from everybody else, and being different and not being afraid to show people. Yeah. That's what you're doing. That's what I love. Like, you've got a podcast now. Yeah. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Oh, even,
you've done guest appearances on podcasts this week.
Yes.
You're going to be, when we can speak again in public, you'll be doing speaking and presenting again on big stages in front of your target audience. And that's how you get seen.
Yeah, you just got to have lots of legs out there, and one of them will flourish, or more than one.
There's a really interesting stat. So most small businesses earn under $1 million in revenue.
Right.
So you should be spending, if that's you, and this is going to be hard for tradies to get your head around, but you should be spending, if you're really serious about growth and getting to a next growth stage, you should be spending 80 to 90% of your time on marketing and creating relationships in your business.
Yes. So that leads beautifully, because a tradie might listen to that going, are you kidding me, Melissa?
For sure.
80 or 90%. When do I get to wear the tool belt? 10% of the time, and that's when I get paid. So marketing's not for every business, we understand, and some, as we've conveyed today, have their own team because they're big and strong and they're all over the place. And some business owners, quite frankly, might be very comfortable with where they are. That's
and
cool.
Referrals their thing. That's totally cool.
Yeah. So for the other basket of tradies, and there's plenty of them.
With big dreams and visions.
Yeah. Talk to me about how they would go about engaging, or at least beginning the conversation of, I'm liking this marketing stuff, but I need to know more.
Yeah. So come and check out my website if you like, if you want to do that, create the relationship first thing. You'll put it in the show notes, but it's divinecreative.com.au.
Yep, it'll be down below.
D-I-V-I-N-E, everyone spells it wrong. Look, there's heaps of stuff on there. There's blogs, there's articles, there's videos. And the best thing to do is just pick up the phone, because I have one of those, and I answer it.
Yep.
Pick up the phone and we'll just have a chat. Like, it's nothing, mention this podcast and, we can have a good half an hour chat. And I can really just give you some tips and tricks and things you can take away immediately and just try them and see if they work for you. Like, I've dropped enough tricks into this, like, you should be able to get some actually really good things that you can utilize first and try them out, and then ring me and see if you want to go this step further. The next step is basically doing a marketing strategy, which is what we did. It was like a half-day commitment, a marketing strategy then with a action plan, because no point having a pretty thing of paper with strategy if you don't have a plan on how to action it. And then if you want, you can go the next step and even have some coaching, if that's what you want. It is really good. I'm actually just right at the end of developing an online course, which will be a lot more affordable for training up people to help you do this, because I can read everybody's minds and they're thinking, how the hell do you get time to do all this? You don't. This is what you do. You have an assistant, and they're not expensive. It's just like you with your admin business. You're the support to businesses, so you need a support to help you out with the marketing.
And I have to say, from my experience, podcasters, that initial phone call is the furthest thing from a sales conversation you're ever likely to have. So don't feel intimidated, don't feel obliged, don't feel obligated that that first half-hour phone call with Melissa is going to be but she's just going to ask me to sign up for this, that and the other, and we're going to start this plan. It's so different to that, and she won't mind if you say no. Of course she'll appreciate if you say yes, let's let's have more information, which is what I did. I now have a 12-month marketing plan. I have a hookup on Zoom once a month with Melissa to review that plan and go through what we're planning to do next month. I have employed a marketing assistant that works for me every Monday for 8 hours, and she puts all of our social media together. I am not I'm the content provider. That's my new role.
You provide the IP.
Yeah, but I'm not the person sitting in front of the computer going, right, I need to put this on Facebook for the next 7 days and here's what we're doing. That's Jesse's job. So your marketing assistant's job to do that. And it can be extremely cost effective because tradies, while you're out hanging a door, while you're out fixing that plumbing issue, while you're washing windows, you're earning, I would guarantee, a better hourly rate than what you would be paying a marketing assistant to help you with your Facebook posts. And yes, some of it's a slow burn and you're not going to get 100 calls the next day, but someone's going to pick you up and you might get that BCF call one day, but I can promise you, you won't get the BCF call if you do nothing.
If they, oh God, you just like, wow,
selling you.
You're a walking signboard. It's beautiful. But that's what happens when you try it and you realise it. It's like these opportunities, the ones that just fall out of the sky, they never fall out of the sky. They happen for a reason. It's because people saw you. People are talking and they see you. And but they get a feel for you and they want to do more with you. And they're not going to go searching high and low.
No.
They're just going to go to the person that is kind of the obvious choice who's in their face.
They'll find you. So podcasters, if you think Facebook is a place that people post their beautiful avocado smash breakfast and look what I'm having for...
I do that too.
Yeah, but there's a lot more to it than that.
So much more.
Get that out of your brain. It's a place where people can find you and let BCF find you and let your business explode. Melissa, thank you. This has been awesome.
You're welcome.
Podcasters, I'm sure you got some gold nuggets out of that. If you got more than one, I would suggest you make contact with Melissa. The contacts will be below. And just have a chat and make that connection.
Totally, it's just chatting. Marketing and sales is just chatting.
Yeah, cool.
Because I've said no to people as well, if they're not, or I'll point you in the right direction.
Yeah,
it's
awesome.
There's no pressure. I only want to work with people that are really into it. And we have a good rapport, so there's no pressure.
Righto. If you're into it, give her a call. Thank you. Thanks, Melissa. Appreciate your time.
You're welcome.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.